What's going on, family? You back in the lab with AB Yashara, man. We got a good one today. This one right here, this man fell in love with his married woman, and he told her, "You got 30 days to tell your husband, or I will." Let's get into it.
I let that man slide his engagement ring right on top of my wedding band. That man looked me in my face and he said, "You got 30 days. You got 30 days to tell your husband about us, or I will." I looked at him and I said, "I can't tell my husband about us. I have kids." That man looked me in my face and said, "You wearing my ring, right?" You said, "Yes, right?" And I looked back at him and I said, "Yes." I said, "Yes, because we're having fun, right? It's a thrill." He looked me in my face and he said, "You got 30 days. If you don't tell your husband, I will." He looked at me and he said he'll walk straight up to my husband and he'll tell him, "I'm in love with your wife. When your wife smiles really big, she get those creases on the side of her eyes." He said he'll tell him, "I'm in love with your wife. When your wife laughs really hard, she tries not to snorkel." Then he looked at me and he said, "Or I tell your husband, I'm in love with your wife. When she comes over for dinner, she always wears a dress, because she knows I serve dessert best on my knees." And he leaned closer to me. He said, "Oh, I tell your husband, I'm in love with your wife. When I bend her over my bed, she grabs the sheets and she tries not to moan." I lean in closer to her and I can hear it. I can feel her breath on my neck. And as she turns her head and kisses me on the cheek, your wife tells me go deeper. He said, "I'll tell your husband." And he leans into my ear. He said, "You got 30 days.
Dang, boy. All right, let's get into it. What are you doing in this situation? You done got yourself caught up in a situation, and most affairs start in the workplace. Most of because that's you spend more time with the people you work with than damn near people at home. Because when you go to work, you're there 8, 9 hours a day. And when you get home, you're a little tired when you come home. So you ain't really interacting with family like that unless it's the weekend. So let me ask you, what are you doing in this situation? You got 30 days. This man has fell in love with you, or a woman. It could be flipped, man or woman that fell in love with you. And they telling you y'all been having fun and y'all done did the whoop de doo, you know what I mean, cross the line, as Country Wayne might say. And now this person want more. It ain't a thrill. It ain't just a little fling no more. They want a full-fledged relationship, marriage, or whatever they might want. But you have a family. You have a family, husband, wife, kids, home, career, bank account, savings, just everything. The dog, the white picket fence, just everything. And now your fun has got you caught up. What are you doing in this particular situation? Or you telling your spouse, your husband, or your wife what you have done? Or you trying to smooth this situation over and say, hey, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Or you trying to break it off. But if you break it off, this person probably is psycho. So they're gonna tell your husband because they probably know your husband's face. They probably know you probably been talking, so they know your husband where they work, they know your husband where they hang out, they know it's everything. So what are you doing in this particular situation? Are you trying to beat this person to the punch? See, I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do in this situation because you got too much to lose at the house, but then you can't hurt this person here. You know what I mean? So at that situation, you're stuck in between a rock and a hard place. That's why I tell people, man, if you're gonna be in these streets, or you feel like your significant other is really not giving you that time or affection or that love or whatever you might want, address it with them first. Don't start tipping in these streets because you can get caught up like this right here. You can get caught up where this individual said, hey, you got 30 days. Well, I'm going to tell your husband, or I'm going to put it on Facebook. And they probably got, now everybody got cell phones. Everybody got some type of recording device. They probably didn't recorded y'all together. They probably took some pictures of you all together. So they're going to send that over to your spouse, or they're gonna put it on their social media where everybody can see y'all and attach you to it. It could get real messy when it comes to stuff like this. So I'll tell anybody, man, talk to your spouse. If you in need or lacking something, talk to them, man. You know what I mean? And if they can't give you what you need, then go to counseling. Try to work it out. If you said the I do's. But in this particular situation here, she allowed this individual man, this man, to put a ring on her finger where her wedding band was, thinking it's just all fun and games, knowing this fool and fell in love. This fool want more. And the story goes on about 2 or 3. So it's a really, really good story. So you can go and search up, click on the link that will be in the description box, and you can find out more about the story, what ended up happening. But this right here, bro, was wild. And that's what happens when you don't put brakes on relationships, or that's what happened when you start playing with fire and you get yourself caught up. You get in a little too deep, and now you can't get out. So a lot of people do this all the time. That's why I tell people, don't put yourself in compromising situations. Don't leave no room for speculation. Don't if a person trying to flirt with you and people like, oh, it was just harmless little flirt. Nah, man. Not if I got a wife, or in certain cases, this case you got a husband. You got to leave no room for speculation. You got to shut that mess down and shut it down immediately. Because once you open that door and they see they can penetrate, and they got a chink in the armor, they're just gonna push more. And next thing you know, you find yourself in an affair, in somebody's bed, in somebody's home. And you know you don't really want to be there, but typically it might feel good to you. It might feel good to him or her. Who knows how this thing can play out? But it's a dangerous situation because now you don't know if you got a stalker on your hand. You don't know, is this person a fool? Deep down, y'all work together, or just a good friend. Y'all work together and y'all been having fun and joking. What's it? Johnny John, half head. He just harmless. He ain't gonna do nothing. Now that man threatened to tell your husband. And once he tell your husband, or you tell your husband, most men, we're in competition all the time. They won't say it, but most men will. It's like if you tell your husband you have an affair with another man or had an affair with another man, in his mind, he probably gonna have to leave because he ain't gonna be able to deal with that on that level. Because it's like we know how we do things that's not ours. We dog it out. And we go, well, that man dog my damn wife. He did stuff to my wife I probably can't even do. Or she let him do this. He gonna mess with that man's psyche so much that he probably gonna end up having to leave you. So in this situation here, man, I tell everybody, chill out on that affair mess, man. Leave that mess alone. And it's dangerous. Not only that, man, people got all these STDs and all kind of just bull junk out here, bro. You could get caught up and destroy your life by having one night stands. And it can happen to anybody. I'm not exempt from it, but I try not to put myself in those situations, bro. I got to meet somebody. I got to talk to somebody about business. You better bet my wife, my son, somebody that's with me. I ain't put myself in those situations, not purposely. You know what I mean? So with that said, man, I'm A.B. Yasharel. Until next time, the link of this video will be in the description box. And shalom, everybody. Thanks for your support.